HBar is down nearly 21% in just 2 days. Is it a pump and dump? Is it market manipulation? What on earth is going on in HBar right now? I've got a massive warning for you. If you're watching this video and you're interested in HBar, hit the like button. Let's get into it. Now guys, cool, calm, collected. This is the problem that I'm seeing across the entirety of crypto right now, which is weird because it shouldn't be like this. This is what we see in the end phase of crypto. And usually we see it in the end phase because, sorry, it means inexperience. What you should be realizing right now is what's just happened in HBar, where we've seen the price go like this from down here where it went up 33% and then 2 days later it crashed all the way down like 20%, is not market manipulation. It's not pump and dump. It's not whatever you think it is that you may have read about somewhere or heard about or whatever it is. It is simply what happens when some news hits a cryptocurrency. Now this represents a pond. It doesn't represent a pond, it's just a pond. You know what happens when you throw a stone in a pond? If you have never thrown a stone in a pond, then you need to get out more, okay? Everyone has thrown a stone in a pond at some point. I want you to think about what happens. We get a splash, and then we get ripples. And then what happens? After a little bit of time, the water returns to normal. Now, guys, this has a point. I want you to understand this. It's exactly the same with cryptocurrency, exactly the same with stock markets. It's exactly the same with all news out there. Now, depending on the level of news that we're talking about, it can have bigger implications than other things. This is myfxbook.com, which is a great website, absolutely free. And you can see that every day there's a lot of financial news that drops about different countries. Here you can see things that will affect, like Bitcoin and crypto in general, will be like US news. And sometimes it's massive news and has a really big impact, sometimes not so much. But the thing that you must understand, and I mentioned in the video the other day, is that news, when really positive in crypto, causes often a price pump and then everyone sells. And you're like, well, why would they sell? Because that news means good things for HBar. You're right, it does mean good things for HBar. That FedNow news was really top quality for HBar. But remember a couple of weeks ago when we had that revelation in the XRP court case, and look at what happened to XRP. It went like this, from literally in the space of a few hours, and I remember watching it happen, it doubled in value, which given the size of the market cap for XRP is absolutely insane. But what we're seeing over time is basically the price just creeping down 36%. And this is a bit of a worrying thing, but it's not. All that happens is all the people down here who had millions, if not in the XRP case, billions of dollars in the game, maybe not, will be taking profits. If you had $100 million in XRP down here and you doubled your money in like 4 hours, you would probably take some money out. I think you'll agree. And that's literally the concept we're looking at. When we see massive news, and you might have got lucky here because this took like 8 hours, you could probably have still taken some gains. But be very cautious about buying these big green candles. I don't care how good the news sounds or whatever it is. Typically, it will cause the price to go up very quickly. And then what happens is the price will come down quicker, or in this case, a bit slower than it went up. But in the case of HBar, you're seeing something very interesting, right? Fundamentally, and people are like, oh, the charts don't move anything, the charts don't matter. They do, guys. Look at this chart pattern. This is a very common chart pattern, which usually breaks out bearish. And you would normally have broken here and it would have come back down. But one thing to note, when we get overextension on these chart patterns, you can see it's a rising wedge, cheese, whatever. You can see that if it overextends, it will typically come back very quickly. So do pay attention to the charts because they do matter, okay? Fundamentally, the price value of HBar right now is around 6 cents. This is the equilibrium line. Think about the water, the pond will always try to return to the equilibrium line. So what happens is all of the kind of like the dumb money, of which isn't that much in terms of quantity, will dive in on the news thinking it's great news, when all the smarter people, sorry if you know you get categorized into something you don't want to be right now, but that's fine. You can turn this around, okay? Everyone, all the smart money is getting out. When you want to FOMO into something, think about this. The smart money is getting out. Whenever you feel that urge to buy because you think you're going to miss out and you're never going to get a chance to buy HBar at this price again, someone knows that. And someone's going to take advantage of you if you're not smart enough. I know that stinks. Stop buying massive pumps towards the upside. You have to wait for pullbacks. Look at it, okay? I said this multiple times. I said it on Casper, and look, I said it up here, okay? And people were like, oh, go and prove that you said it. Go and show me your trades. Guys, I don't need to show you my trades, okay? In the Inner Circle Discord, which is linked down below, then you'll see that I'm calling these time and time again that we're going to get pullbacks. And in fact, Casper, from this top up here, pulled back, what, 22%? Now, that didn't come off of news. It's just like a lot of good hype about Casper. It's a good project. Still, by the look of this, we'll have a continued slide further, actually. I think possibly down here, we might see Casper find some support, which means that from current levels, you could see a further decline of like 13%. You never even know. Right now, we're seeing Bitcoin having a little slide towards the downside. Everything else is going to get dragged if Bitcoin goes down as well. All we simply need to know, and I'm trying to make a point of in this video, because I have realized that if I try and feed you too much information at once, it's overwhelming. And not just you, me, anyone, guys, we get overwhelmed. We have too much information. My very simple point in this is to understand news and how it affects markets. News can be good, can be bad. It will cause a dramatic event, but afterwards, things will start to return to normal. Okay? And the bigger the news, the longer it takes to return to normal. But here you are. Let me show you something. Do you remember that FTX news? This is the FTX news on the Bitcoin chart. It dropped around November, and about a month or two later, you can see it just returns to normal. This is the ripple, okay? Someone's dropped the stone here, and then it just returns to normal. Now, I'm not saying you wanted to get involved in any of this, but one thing to note is when you get savage news towards the downside, look at how quickly we get a pump back. Here in the Bitcoin price, we got a pump back after it found support, came up about 13% in a day, because it's trying to get back to its equilibrium line, okay? The current value of the market is dictated not by news, but a collection of news, collection of people being interested or not interested, and a variety of other factors such as liquidity cycle and a load of technical macro stuff that you probably don't want to listen to right now. So all you need to know is, yes, it's good when we get a good piece of news. It increases people's interest. But when you get a good piece of news, maybe it's time to maybe take a little bit of profit rather than trying to buy more. That's simply what it is, guys. It doesn't matter whether it's HBar or Casper or XRP or anything else I've talked about. I don't care how good or how great you think that coin is. Overall, if it is great and good and you think it's going to go well, then it will. And eventually it will. But if you're looking for like short terms and you think that you're going to miss out because it's pumping, you're going to get roasted every time, guys. Because, you know, every pump, literally you can see on a Bitcoin chart, you get a pump, pulls back. You get a pump, pulls back. You get a pump, pulls back. Maybe you get more of a pump, pulls back. It's going to keep happening. It happens on the way down as well. You get a dump. And you can see on the way up before, you know, you get pumps, pulls back, pump, pull back. Okay? And yeah, there are elements of the market that are a bit kind of scary. But this is why right now you need to be loading up, because in my opinion, if we go back to Bitcoin, we're somewhere in this area here. And yeah, you're going to go, well, what about this? That was COVID-19. If we get something on that scale drop again, then yeah, maybe it will happen. But I don't believe it's going to happen. I believe that we are in some form of an accumulation area like this. And, you know, this could be just around the corner. So make the most of the opportunities while you can and load up on the dumps and pullbacks. And then when we get the pumps later on, then you're going to be happy. That's not financial advice. You need to go away and do your own research. Just what I'm doing right now. If you want to learn more, get into the free Telegram link down below. Some really good chat right now in there about different crypto coins. Guys, I'm delighted to say as well that this video is sponsored by Grape, a coin that is yet to launch and will be launching in next month. Something that's very exciting about Grape is right now it has launched actually on Bitmart Exchange. But if you buy here, on the Grape website, it's at $46 each, currently over $100 on the Bitmart exchange, which means the overall launch price could be around $100, which will see massive return on investment, theoretically, if that actually goes and happens. Now, obviously, this is crypto, so invest at your own risk, but this is a really exciting and interesting project. They're bridging the gap between a Web 2 and a Web 3, which is the new, basically, internet, which will be rolled out in the coming years. and it works through a DAG consensus, not a blockchain, which is similar to the way that both HBar and Casper work, which is a direct acyclic graph, and it allows them to make over 700 transactions per second. That's because it runs in a slightly different way from a blockchain, not just going along one route, but it takes basically random routes and can handle a massive number of transactions, which makes it highly suitable for GameFi and the metaverse, which they're heavily targeting. Now, they're talking about it being a Web 4 platform, which is probably weird for you because you're like, we haven't even had Web 3. Well, basically all that simply means is they are using an integration between the DAG and an AI, which is basically to increase the overall functionality of the project and drive forward this particular platform. The AI effectively allows non-technical people like myself to build onto the blockchain, or the DAG in this case, not a blockchain. And that's very exciting because a lot of problems with other cryptos is because they lack usability and people need technical knowledge to be able to implement them. But this is something very exciting that I'm seeing here and something that we could see going forward. You can see they offer a ton of different services, mainly targeted towards GameFi and Metaverse, but not limited to that. Very exciting project. Definitely go and learn more. Link down below in the description. You'll also get 10% extra tokens going through that link. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed that video, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. See you in the next one.